Hey and welcome team. We are looking at the difference between two squares today, and this is going to be a very important piece of the puzzle as you go into IG. We will use this frequently. First of all, I'm just going to talk about a couple of interesting results when we are working with quadratics. And the first one is this. You'll see this on page 311 of your textbook. Another way of writing a plus b squared is a plus b bracket into a plus b bracket. Now when we work using FOIL there, you can see we're going to get a squared. So that's this times this. And then after that we're going to do outers, which is a times b, so we get plus ab. And then we're going to do inners. So inners will give us, again, b times a, so that'll be another ab. And then outers, last, b times b, so that will be b squared. Now we can simplify this whole thing. We can gather our like terms. You see we've got these two are the same, so we can say we've got two of them. Okay, so that's that one. That's so whenever you get something, let's just apply that. Let's say we've got x plus 2 squared. We could use this and go, well, it's going to be x squared plus 2 times a times b. 2 times x times 2, right? A, b, 2 times x times 2. Another way of writing 2 times x times 2 is 4x. And then plus 4. And that would be our result. Okay, so we can apply that. Now I'll just get rid of that because I want to talk about another fairly important result. Oops, careful of the microphone. Okay, the next one is a minus b all squared. Now again, we could expand that by writing it like this. And then we could use FOIL. First, a times a is a squared. Then O for outers, a times minus b is minus ab. And then I for inners, minus b times a is again minus ab. And then minus b times minus b is b squared, that's lasts. And then we can gather our like terms. Again, we've got these as like. So we've got a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So another similar type result there. Now the one that we're really going to focus on and that's going to become more and more useful is something called the difference between two squares. And it's when we have something like this. Now I'll expand this out and then you'll see why it's called the difference between two squares. Okay, so we're going to go a times a for f, which is firsts. Then we're going to do O, which is outers, so it'll be a times positive b, which is plus ab. Then we're going to do inners, minus b times a, which is minus ab. And then lasts, minus b times b, so that'll be minus b squared. Now, when we go to gather our like terms here, you'll notice that you've got a plus ab and a minus ab, and that just is, they will cancel each other out. So you're left with a squared minus b squared. And hopefully at this point you now can see why we call this the difference between two squares. We've got a squared, take away b squared. Now, a takeaway is a way of finding the difference between two items, and both of these items are squared, which is why we call it the difference between two squares. Now, in the exercise that we're doing today, we're going to apply some of the knowledge that we've just gained here. So I'll just work my way through with you now. 1a. Let's start at 1a. Okay, 1a. What have we got? We've got to show that a plus b all squared is equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Okay, so, and we've got a being equal to 3 and b equals to 4. So let's go ahead and prove that. If we're going to go a plus b squared, and that in this case it would be 3 plus 4 all squared, which is 7 squared, which is 49. And we could also write it as, what have we found up here, this bit here. So we could pop that in and we could go, alright, a squared, which is 3 squared, plus 2 times a, which is 3, times b, which is 4, and then plus 4 squared. Now let's work that out. We get 9. 2 times 3 is 6, times 4 is 24, plus 24. Plus 16. And what does that equal? 49. So we've proved that a squared plus 2ab plus b squared is in fact equal to bracket a plus b all squared. Now I'm not going to do part b. You can use much the same method for doing that. Now I'm going to move to question 3a, and it's the same kind of deal here. This time we've got, whoops, let's try and write neatly. A equals 5 and b equals 3, and I'm trying to prove that a minus b all squared is equal to, so I'm trying to prove that this is equal to a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So let's try that. Okay, in this case, a minus b all squared is 5 minus 3 all squared, which is the same as saying 2 squared, which is the same as 4. Now let's do it using this here. So we're going to go a squared, which is 5 squared, take away 2 times 5 times 3, plus, what's that, 3 squared. Now that is equal to 25 minus 30 plus 9, which is equal to 4. So again, we've proved that those two things are equal. Now let's move on. What are we doing? Let's go on to 5a. We're now trying to prove the difference between two squares. So this time we've got a is equal to 5 and we've got b is equal to 4. So we're going to go a squared minus b squared, and we're going to see, does it equal a minus b into a plus b? Alright, we're going to see, are these things equal? Well, we've got 5 squared, take away 4 squared. Is that equal to 5 take away 4 times 5 plus 4? Let's go down. 5 squared take away 4 squared, that's 25. Take away 16, and on the other side we've got 1 in the first bracket times 9 in the second bracket. So we've got 9 on the left hand side and we've got 9 on the right hand side. So yes, what we've proved by expanding is also true. Now I have a number of other questions I need to do. I'm not going to do all of them because this is already getting very long. Let's just pop these down here. Okay, 8a. Okay, now we can use this knowledge to help us solve a few problems. So look at this one here, 21 squared. We could actually write that, instead of trying to square it in our heads, we could go, that's like 20 plus 1 squared. And remember, I've already, up above, I've already figured out what that is equal to. That's this thing here, isn't it? So I'll just pull that down so we can have a look at that. And, oh, okay, I'm going to move you down here. Okay, it should be, I should be able to write it as a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So a squared would be 20 squared plus 2 times a is 20, and the b in this case would be 1, plus b squared, which is 1 squared. Now we can go down, 20 times 20 is 400. 2 times 20 times 1 is 40, and 1 is 1, so we should be equal to 441. Okay, and you can always just check on your calculator and go, oh, well, what's 21 squared? Oh, look, it's 441. So that's a cool way of solving some of these problems. Let's just do another one of these. So what if we've got something like 52 squared? Okay, well, we could write that as 50 plus 2 all squared, and then we can use this a squared scenario again. Let's go 50 squared, and then 2ab plus 2 times 50 times 2, and then plus b squared. Well, the b in this case is 2, so 2 squared. And then we go, well, what's 50 times 50? That's like 2,500. And then we've got 2 times 50, which is 100 times 2, so plus 200. And then we've got plus 4, so it should be 2,704. 52 squared should be that. Now we can just check that on the calculator. Look at that. Yeah, we got it right. Okay, so moving on to C. Now you'll notice this one, we've got 29 squared. Now you could just go ahead and go 20 plus 9 all squared in brackets, but we could also do it like this. And then we could use, whoops, that's not quite where I wanted it. Okay, we'll move it down here. We could use this rule to simplify things for us. So let's try that. Well, a squared, 30 squared, minus 2 times a times b. So it'll be minus 2 times 30 times 1. The minus is recognized by that minus in front of the 2. And then plus b squared, so plus 1 squared. Now what does this give us? Well, it'll be 900, take away 60, plus 1. And that should give us 841. So you can check that on your calculator. Let's do one more. I think we have D here. So D is our next one. Let's grab all of this, bring it down here. Okay, so for D, again, 77 squared, we could rewrite that as 80 subtract 3 all squared. And then we use a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So we're going to go 80 squared, take away 2 times 80 times 3, and then plus 3 squared. Now let's look at that. 80 times 80 times 8 8 is 64, add 2 zeros. Take away 2 times, so 2 times 3, 3 2s is 6, 6 times 8, 480, take away 480 plus 9. So if we take away 400 from 6,000, we get 6,000, take away 80 more, and we're going to get 5,920. So I think it should be, let me just see, 5,000, what is it? Yeah, 5,929 is correct. Okay, so that's good. That's real good. Okay, now we're going to go on to, let's see, 9. This is the difference between two squares, so I'm going to go 9a. And we've got 7 squared, take away 3 squared. And we can write this, as you remember, let me just grab this from up the top there. It's this thing here. Right, so we're going to use this. We've been given the highlighted bit, so we'll go to the other side. We're going to go, that's like, oh, look, I didn't even bring what I needed down here. Another way of writing it, let's do this in the same color. Oh, it doesn't want to do it in the same color. Okay, that's fine. A minus b times a plus b. Okay, that's what we can write it as. So we're just going to go, all right, 7 minus 3 times 7 plus 3. Now, what does this give us? 7 minus 3 is 4. 7 times plus 3 is 10. So it should be 40. And you know that 49 take away 3, 49 take away 9 is 40, so that's fine. Let's do b. Now for b, we have 14 squared minus 6 squared. So we're going to go 14 minus 6 times 14 plus 6. Now 14 minus 6 is 8, and 14 plus 6 is 20. Whoops, and we're timesing them together, so times 20. And that gives us equal to 160. Let's do C. This time we've got a rather large one. 89 squared, take away 11 squared. Since it's the difference between two squares, we can write that as 89 minus 11 times 89 plus 11. Now, 89 minus 11, what does that give us? 89 minus 11 is 78. We're going to get 78, and 89 plus 11 is 100. So we'll get 7800, 7,800. The last one that you have to do is 28 squared, take away 18 squared equals, now we just pop that into 28 minus 18 multiplied by 28 plus 18. Work out the brackets, 28 minus 18 is 10. And 28 plus 18 is 46. And so we're going to get an answer of 460 there. And you can check that on your calculator. And lo and behold, that is exactly what we get. So those are some useful little techniques and tricks that you can use from the three different rules that we learnt at the beginning. Well, I hope that helps. Hope it makes sense. If you do have questions, of course, feel free to ask me. Alright guys, take care.